Hey guys, and warm welcome back to the channel. My name is Grace if you're new here, and this is the Rusty Thicket. I do all sorts of 𝍊🋼🍊🍊 projects and home decor, while I'm also working on being a small business owner and going to events and doing things like that to build up my career for when we get back to the States, which will be in about 1.5 years or so, maybe a little bit more, while my husband is stationed here in Okinawa, Japan. So for those of you who are new, hello, and thank you so much for being here. I've got quite a few new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, which is awesome because we are just over 400, and as soon as we get to 500, I'm doing a huge giveaway. Make sure you check out a couple of videos back. I'll put the link below so you can see kind of a sneak peek into what that's going to look like. But today I'm so excited to be finally doing a project that has taken me quite some time to really get to where I feel like it's what I want, or at least for a while it's what I want. If you've been following along, you know I make these little coloring books. They're nothing fancy. I love doodling and I love drawing, so I wanted to put something together. I sell them for like $5 at my events and they go over pretty well. Unfortunately, they do get beat up kind of bad, and I don't have a protective cover over them because I had no way of making one. Eventually, I would like to have something like maybe, you know, I don't know if I want them published necessarily, but even if I did it like through Amazon or something like that, that would be a bigger goal than what I'm able to do today. But I did base that one off of this super cute 𝍊🋼🍊🍊 coloring book from Stardew Valley. I literally did what I could to make it as similar as possible so that I could kind of stretch my legs into actually making coloring books. This one's obviously way more well made because they have like a nice protective cover. These like to get kind of sad and droopy in the humidity, so I wanted to upgrade these. And the idea was that eventually, when I had the money and I really felt like I could have enough ideas, I guess, to put together for multiple coloring books, that I would go ahead and purchase a laminator, which I'm really excited about because I have never owned one at the home before. I've, used them in the past. And then also, my most favorite purchase that I've made in a long time is the Cinch machine. So we'll go through the machine a little bit better here in a few minutes when I'm actually using it in the video, because this is the intro and I'm filming it the day after. But anyway, we are going to be making this book. I know it's smaller. It's definitely different. I am still kind of finding my style, I guess, when it comes to that. But the biggest part is that now it is a protected book with a laminated cover and a laminated back, so the inside sheets would be a lot safer. I have also upgraded the inside paper to a slightly thicker cardstock, and I've kept the backside, blank, so you don't have any bleeding if you were to use Copic markers or something like that. And then I obviously had the back, similar but not exactly the same. I'm not sure if I want to upgrade to doing something like that again, but we're figuring it out. So we're going to learn how to cinch this, learn how to use the laminator, and make ourselves a cute little, I think it's 5.5 by 4.25 coloring book. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please let me know in the comment section below what you think about putting the book together and if you have any other ideas for the future. All right, so here we are at the laminator. It is all ready to go. I've let it warm up while we're doing some other things. This is a Scotch brand. It does 2 different settings, a 3mm and a 5mm. This is a 3mm bag, and I specifically bought the kind that are photo safe. I don't know if they make unphoto safe ones, but this is what I found that I thought would work best for what I'm doing, especially if I do other art projects in the future that I want to laminate. I am trying not to do a backing card on these, even though I think I'm still going to do one of those here in a minute anyway. I just wanted to see how it was going to work out. And I may have done a dumb thing and pre-cut my pieces and put them in the sleeve. I think they're going to flop around, but we'll see. I'm not really sure how it's going to go. The last time I laminated stuff, it was probably in probably 5 years ago. I had a job at a gym where I did have to laminate a few signs and stuff like that, and it was like a big industrial laminator though, so it was way different than this. And then in college, I remember having to laminate a few things at the library one time, and that's kind of all I've done. So it's really easy though. You literally turn it on, let it warm up, make sure that you go seam first through the laminator, and then leave about 1/8 of an inch around everything so that you can then cut it. Hopefully I've given enough of a border for everything. We'll kind of see. And I think I'm gonna let it pass through twice just to be on the safe side. I like to be, you know, sure. It does say to let it kind of cool off for just a second in between, so I'm gonna let it do that. But this one I just bought at the exchange. I think it was around $40. I can't remember if that was with or without the extra packet I bought of laminating sleeves, because this one came with just 2. And I'm gonna use the other that came with it here in a minute with the cardboard, probably off camera. All right, so that's nice and cool for the most part. So I'm gonna stick it back through. Okay, so you can see here on the camera, I'll do a better video of it here in just a second. I'm in like a really awkward spot on my kitchen counter. But I have 2 different colors, like a darker one and a lighter one. I really didn't love how the blue turned out on this one, so I lightened the blue over here, and then my printer just randomly printed this one even lighter. It's in the same color that I would like. It's kind of dark over here, sorry. It's in the same kind of color I would like, but it's lighter than I had wanted. Anyway, this actually feels really rigid. I may not do the cardboard backing pieces, but we're gonna trim it down and see what it looks like, and we'll get it all ready to put in the cinch. I'm so excited. Okay, so to run you guys through the cinch machine really quick before we start punching stuff and putting things together, this is a little clip that holds the handlebar down for storage, and so that, you know, nothing is accidentally getting clipped off here. This thing also slides for larger pieces. I could have gone with a much smaller machine, but I figured this would have the most longevity if I decide to do full-size stuff, because they do have a smaller one that's like one-handed. And then on this back side here, this is where you would, oh, actually let's turn this back around. So these pegs you can pull in or push out, and only the ones pushed in are what is going to make holes. So when I go to put this in here and I line it up right, when I mash the hammer down, just this right here is what's going to make holes on my paper. And you want to do that to make sure that you're not getting half circles or anything like that on the outsides of your cover. And then when you turn it around here, you will adjust this bar according to whatever size your little metal rails are. This is a 5/8, so you want to push this down and turn it until it gets to 5/8. And then when we've got our book completely loaded, we'll stick this in here and push down the hammer again, and it'll cinch it. You can also build your book along this side where you put your rail down and then build your book. That way everything stays nice and flat, and you know, you're not having to roll this around in your hand a bunch. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and clamp down on our, this one's already laminated. It's one of the darker ones that I didn't super love, so we're gonna try it first. I'm gonna line that up as best as I can. Put some holes in the top. It's definitely not perfect, and especially after you have, you know, had to cut your lamination down, if it's not a perfectly straight line, but it's within that orange bar that I was hoping for, so that's really great. And then we'll do the same to the back side. Again, everything is within that orange bar right there, and they should match up pretty great. Absolutely not perfect, but still great enough. Alright, so the way I designed this was that you could take one sheet of paper for 4 pieces of artwork, and we're just going to cut those down so that they will fit . Okay, so when you go to actually put everything together, you're going to put your little spine up on this little rail. It doesn't really matter where on the rail, that's just long enough that you can do a pretty big book. And then you want to take the insides of your book. See if I want it in this order. I'll put the axolotl up front because he's super cute. And then you want to load the insides of your book first. See where that rail ends. I'm going to take it off, and we're going to clip it right in between one of the square pieces up there. That way you can see how this is now ended. Instead of being like a full square, it's like cut in half. Alright, and then I'm going to put it back on the holder here. And you want to put on your front cover, and then you want your back cover to come down last and towards your front cover. That way when it is finally cinched together, this will flip over to the back and you won't have this rail in the way. I'll try to show you what I mean. Alright, so this is all lined up, and now what you'll want to do is take it to the back of the cinch machine, and like we were doing earlier, we want this to be the same as whatever size rail you bought, and mine happens to be 5/8. Alright, and so what you want to do here is make sure this more squared off section, the flat side, is down. I am doing this kind of backwards, so hopefully it comes out okay. You want that part to be facing down, and then you're going to take the cinch machine and press it again, and there is your book bound. So then you can take your back cover and flip it to the back, and there's your book. And like, look how super cute that is. It's nice and protected on the front because we've laminated it. And there are coloring pages on the inside. And this one's really small, like I said, but we are going to be working up to larger ones in the future after I see how these do, especially since I'm gonna have to charge just a little bit more for the quality. And but that's ultimately the goal. I want to give really great products that people will enjoy, that will actually last, because I know a lot of coloring books get toted around in places, or at least mine do. And yeah, so if you guys really liked this and would like to see more stuff like this, I have lots of ideas for the cinch machine and the laminator, and I would love to know what you guys think. So make sure you leave a comment below and hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.